Hello, my name is Lajoy Mercer, and I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. I come from a heritage of historically Black colleges and universities, or HBCUs. My parents attended Tennessee State University, located right there in Nashville, Tennessee, but I actually knew that I wanted to go to school out of state. And so I attended Florida A&M University, which is located in Tallahassee, Florida. It is actually the number one historically Black college or university, number one public historically Black college or university for the last couple of years. And I was blessed to receive a full presidential scholarship. And I remember when Florida A&M came to my high school to recruit, and I started receiving materials about their business school. They actually have an outstanding business program where you can get your bachelor's as well as your master's within 5 years. So I took advantage of that program and really enjoyed my time at FAMU. I took all kinds of classes. I took, of course, accounting and finance and marketing and different management or organizational theory classes, as well as computer information systems coursework. And one thing that I decided to do, as much as I enjoyed the coursework within my major, but since I was on a full scholarship, I actually decided to take a couple of elective classes. So I took basic photography, which I still use to this day. And I really love that class. I also did percussion ensemble, just for fun. I wasn't in the marching band, just the percussion ensemble. We literally met in a classroom and played different songs, and that was great. But in terms of my actual major, one thing I love about graduating with my bachelor's and master's in business management is you can truly apply it anywhere. Business is applicable to literally everything. And for me, growing up, my dad is actually an accountant. And so I got the business gene, but not quite the accounting gene. So I was drawn more towards management and marketing. And so with that, I really enjoyed just essentially what I realized about marketing, as well as management or organizational theory, et cetera, is it really is rooted in psychology. And so I really enjoyed learning those courses. And I also, when I was on campus, I participated in the Student Government Association. I was elected as a student senator, so I served a 2-year term during my junior as well as my senior year. And then I was also a part of a student organization that planned events to give students an alternative to going to clubs, and et cetera. So that was a lot of fun. We would have like skate events and game nights and just all kinds of really engaging things. We would even do a formal every spring. And from all of those different experiences, being a student leader and doing the event planning and all of those things really came together when it came to my career, because during my graduate school studies, so after my first year in grad school, I had the opportunity to intern with the Walt Disney Company at the Disney Institute, and they actually do business programs for companies that want to benchmark with Disney. So it was a great way to learn the business behind the magic, as they call it. And I also was able to stay on with the company when I finished my last year of grad school. I stayed on with the company as a campus representative. I got to help recruit other students to work for the company. And It was such a rich experience. I would say from that, once I graduated, I ended up becoming a leader within our park operations team at the Walt Disney World Resort. So I worked in our theme parks for 8.5 years as a leader for our attractions. So various rides, classic shows and rides that you would probably be familiar with or um, have at least heard of. And then I transitioned to our consumer insight uh, research team as a leader, and where we work on focus groups and all kinds of research projects. And so I did that for about 6 years. And then this last year, I transitioned to our recruitment team. So I'm now actually a recruiter for professional internships. And so it's been a full circle moment for me. And so I definitely feel like throughout my career, I have been able to apply all of that learning that I got from the marketing to the organizational theory and management, et cetera, even the accounting, having to manage budgets, et cetera. And so it's something that I think just has always been inside of me. I've always had a very entrepreneurial spirit. And so that's what even made me want to major in business. And I would say when you're thinking about your career or next steps or graduate school, just really think about where your passion lies and just let your studies align with that. Um, of course, you also want to consider, do research about just being honest about the salaries of various positions, et cetera. And when you do start working, make sure you invest in your 401k, which is basically your retirement savings. A lot of companies will contribute to that. So that is essentially free money, because a lot of companies will do 401k matching. So that's something to take advantage of. I would say during my time at Florida A&M University, and things that I think have really impacted me to this day are the people that I met. And you'll hear that term sometimes, networking, but I don't think of networking in the traditional sense of, quid pro quo. I think about it as forming authentic relationships. And so a great example of that, actually, my freshman year, I met one of my best friends, and we didn't stay in the same dorm, but what we would do is on Saturdays, we would go over to the cafeteria and we would have breakfast or brunch, and different people would come and sit with us. And then we would end up staying over into the lunch hour for a little bit, and different people would again come and sit with us and chat. And so I feel like I just formed so many authentic relationships when I was at FAMU, and those relationships have carried me on to this day. And even, seeing various classmates or different alumni of the institution enter all kinds of different fields. So I think forming those authentic relationships is really key. And just knowing that you are where you are meant to be. So whether that is a historically Black university or college, or another institution, just finding what you feel is the right fit for you, and know that we will be right here cheering you on. You're not going to love every class. I had to actually take physics classes in order to get my master's. Those were not fun, but it was definitely allowing me to utilize a different area of my brain. And I would encourage you, if you can, try to get scholarship money, because I think that's something that helps to alleviate some of the stress that comes with being a college student. But if not, just do what you got to do, and stay encouraged, and just know that we are rooting for you every single step